Every eldership says it believes in shared leadership until one man's voice consistently ends the discussion. In this episode, Do You Have a Head Elder?, I name a dynamic most churches recognize but rarely confront: the leader of the leaders. Sometimes he's kind and life-giving. Other times he's controlling, wounded, or quietly corrosive, and the group helps him stay that way. If you've ever left a meeting knowing decisions were settled before discussion began, this episode may explain why and what it would take to change it.
Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
When I use the expression head elder, I'm not talking about the elder of the month, the one who leads the opening prayer, sets the agenda, and goes around the table asking, "You got anything to bring up?" I'm asking, are you aware of a leader of your leaders? Have you considered the effect he has on your group? Is it healthy or harmful? How did he gain his leadership? Is he leading with the group's permission or with the group's resentment? I've observed this dynamic. There's toxic head elders and benevolent head elders. Let's consider each. First, toxic head elders. He's controlling. When the meeting isn't going his way near the end, he says, "Well, it's about time to go out and greet the brethren." The group arises and follows him out the door to Wednesday night Bible study as if a log chain were attached to him and the other men in the room. If the discussion's contrary to his thinking earlier in the meeting, there's a line for that. "When you boys get as old as I am, you'll know you can't do things that way." And that's the last time this topic is introduced. He induces guilt if you don't agree with him. Well, I'm afraid that'll lead to progressive, liberal, or legalistic thinking, rather than, "This is how I see it. What am I missing? I hadn't considered that. You made a good point. I still don't see it your way, but I'll think about it. I don't believe you've commented. What do you think about that?" The toxic head elder is one who speaks more than the rest of the group combined, or after everyone else has spoken, he gives his judgment. Everyone agrees and the meeting's over. He may make loud proclamations, at times with anger expressed by words, volumes, eyes, red face, glare, or be super sweet, overly compliant, clearly hurt and crushed when you don't agree with him. There may be frequent reminders of wealth, position, past service, heroic exploits, education, and experience. On the other hand, I've observed benevolent head elders, the leader of the leaders, kind, active in shepherding, strong convictions, compassionate, willing to serve, encouraging, frequently dispensing grace and mercy. I'm thinking of an elder who led me for years in an excellent way as I write this description of a benevolent head elder. How can a group discourage the development of a toxic head elders? 1. Be aware of the natural tendency for a leader to emerge in a group. Discuss this. One eldership asked me how they could prevent a toxic head elder since they had experienced it in their congregation before their service. As I recall, this is the only time in the history of the world I've been asked that question. My suggestion to them: at the end of each quarter, select by vote a head elder of the quarter. Prepare a nice large plaque. This plaque is given to you in recognition of being selected by the vote of this eldership as the head elder of the quarter. This is probably an aberration that will not persist. Thank you for considering this observation from your fellow elders. We love you and value you as a fellow shepherd. Additional guidelines to accompany this plaque. The elder gets to keep the plaque for 3 months. Take a vote at the end of the next quarter. Take a vote after the third quarter. If the same person gets the vote as head elder of the quarter for 3 quarters in succession, it's time to talk about relationships. It's not to blame or accuse the head elder of his dysfunction. It's time to discuss why the group permits and encourages this dynamic. If a condition is toxic and continues in any group, it's because everybody likes it the way it is better than what it would take to change it. This eldership didn't take my advice. They used the handy wastebasket I always have available. But they didn't produce a toxic head elder. I think their early discussion kept their awareness active. They also practiced shepherding of shepherds, which can serve as a vaccine against the development of a toxic head elder. I found it helpful to remember hurt people hurt people. When there's healthy ministry to others, their hurt is less likely to manifest itself in unhealthy ways. If as an elder you know you tend toward toxic, when you become aware of your domination, ask others to comment and plead for their honest, helpful response. Abstain from blaming, controlling, and producing guilt. Have you ever changed your mind about your understanding of God's Word or your wisdom in applying it? Were you liberal or legalist when you held a different view from your understanding now? Is it possible others are as sincere as you are when their understanding is different from yours? Go on a voluntary fast from commenting during a meeting at least once a quarter. Others may not ruin the church without your ideas while you're practicing self-control. Consider, if this domination has been going on for a long time, everybody in the group knows it, although they probably don't talk about it. Not only does everyone in the leadership know it, but most of the church is aware of this dynamic as well. It oozes out in conversation, personality, announcements, prayers, and other interactions. The solution isn't to eliminate the toxic head elder. If you do, another moves to take his place. The solution is to realize that everyone in the group, and ultimately the congregation, is participating and perpetuating dysfunction. The group has to change to encourage and practice biblical servant leadership. While listening to this episode, if you're thinking about a certain person or persons, perhaps it's time to go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear, take with you 1 or 2 more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. Please send your comments and observation in the text message in the show notes or to my email, Jerrie, Jerrie, at barberclippings.com. What have you found helpful in preventing a leader of leaders from becoming harmful to the group he's leading?
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast was brought to you by Jerry's book, Between Preachers. You can grow through interim ministry. Dale Jenkins wrote in the introduction, "While Jerry has written the only book I know by a member of the Church of Christ on interim ministry, the excellent principles in this book could be used as a book on healthy moving or healthy leader-minister relations, or a book for every Christian on healthy living. I'd encourage you to get one for every elder you know." You can order your book from Amazon. There will be a link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. Jerry looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.